Hi, this is Professor Nugent. Welcome to MBA 512 Business Planning and Strategic Management. This is the overview lecture, not really a lecture, more of a review of the syllabus and my expectations and setting you up to have a successful class. I want to make things very intuitive and explain things, everything you need to know in this one video, so you can get started easily and have a very good idea of what I'm expecting in this class and what you're responsible for. And I spent a lot of time thinking about how to put this class together, what would be best for the students in the program, and how things should flow to create a nice dynamic learning environment. I've talked to many students about this in the past, and I've taught some of these classes already, so I have a good amount of experience, and I think you're going to be very impressed and very happy with how the class is going to progress. Now, because this is a summer class and students have very different schedules and students are in various different countries, um, most of the class is going to be asynchronous, which means I will provide you with videos and documents and lectures and tests and assignments that you could do um, on your own schedule at any time during the day that works best for you. But remember, you must connect to Blackboard at least 3 times a week to view, what the assignments are, access the lectures, respond to the discussion board, but we don't all have to go to the Blackboard at the same time. So that's the asynchronous part. Now the synchronous part is I will be using SB Connect, which you can find right on the Blackboard menu. And once a week, I'll be holding office hours from Wednesday from 1 to 2 Eastern Standard Time, New York time. And these are voluntary, optional online sessions, and I'm just like regular office hours. If you want to come in to this hour-long session and ask me questions about the concepts of the work or issues you're having, feel free to drop on by for that hour. And even if you don't have a microphone, you could just type your questions to me. There's a chat session in there, and I could answer them back in chat, or I could just verbally say what's happening, so that way I could answer, if you get stuck on anything, I can quickly get you an answer to your question and also get some feedback from you on what's working, what's not working. So again, these are voluntary. So if you can't meet that Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m., you can certainly email me for an appointment office hours where I could meet with you at a different time if there's a pressing issue. And you can always reach me through email as well. Okay, so the course description. Companies alter and improve their strategies regularly. Managers are always trying to develop an awareness for the company about where they are, how is their current strategic plans working, and how should their strategic plans change in the future. The learning goals for this class is I want you to be able to understand the factors to consider when making strategic plans, what a company should do. I want you to learn how to apply analytical and planning tools to develop a very solid corporate strategy. We are going to specifically explore the groups of people who have an investment in business. You have your investors, your principals, your owners, your customers, your vendors, your employees. And I want you to get a better understanding as a whole what it takes to run a business. And specifically, how the success of a business is measured. How do you know your strategy is working? I want you to be able to identify and capitalize on the key strengths of an existing business, and how businesses develop and maintain competitive advantages relative to other companies in the same industries. I want you to be able to identify and analyze factors that are crucial to the success of businesses, including a SWOT analysis. What's a business's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and how to apply these analytical tools to formulate a very solid strategy. Now remember, strategy is something that is constantly changing. Your strategy may work for one moment, but as the competitor reacts to it, your strategy has to adapt and evolve and continuously be improved to make sure your company is as successful as possible. So how are we going to accomplish these learning goals? Well, first, I've picked out some textbooks that we're going to work with, and we're going to cover most of the chapters in this class. Second, I'm also going to be working with a computer business simulation, and this simulation is going to help me reinforce how to measure how to get you to understand how to measure a company's success, the decisions that are needed for a company to succeed, and help stimulate your mind about developing strategies to compete with one another. Third, I'm also going to be utilizing case studies, real world case studies that you're going to answer and respond to, and help you think about the content of the textbooks in this class in a more real world environment. Okay. So class time, lectures will include coverage on the information in the textbooks, discussion of the case studies, and inside those discussions, current events. I'm going to use the discussion boards, lecture videos, which are mostly voice over PowerPoint, to simulate a class environment. Now, my office hours, like I explained before, I'll be using SB Connect to create a synchronous office hour environment that you're welcome to come to. Now, the SB Connect is a free Adobe application. It's free to students. It's integrated with Blackboard. You just need to click on the SB Connect button in the Blackboard menu, and that will bring you to our environment, which I'll be running. Okay. So the two textbooks that we'll be working with is book one is Kellogg's on Strategy. This is a very refined look at strategy, the classic strategy that has been taught in academic institutions for years. Now this book, both these books are mass market books, which means that they are not textbook specific books, so they do not come with a $300 price tag. Both these books you can be found for around $20. They can be picked up. I ordered them. They're in the bookstore on Stony Brook campus. You can pick them up there. You can order them online. They're often in stock at Barnes & Nobles. The second book is a Blue Ocean Strategy, which is a more innovative, current thinking type of a strategy. So it's the next level, the evolution of strategy. So I'm going to cover the basics of strategy that everybody should know of how companies have analyzed and utilized strategic concepts over the last 40 years. And then the Blue Ocean Strategy, which is a book that really defines the age of strategy that companies are in today. So we're going to really cover those two topics. The assignments will all be posted on Blackboard. I'm going to go over Blackboard in a second after I'm done with this syllabus. Now the simulation, I'm going to be using the Zoom simulation. Now if you haven't already worked with the Zoom simulation, you must purchase the simulation in order to participate in this class. You are going to be a team of one student. So I'm not going to form teams of 3 or 4 or 5 people to work together, because I feel in the online environment it's very hard for people to connect, and it puts an extra strain on the student to form a team and work in this environment. So right now you're gonna work as a team of one. So everybody is I'm going to put the instructions on the simulation on Blackboard for you to look up and know everything about it. I'm going to have a whole separate lecture on what this simulation is about, how it's going to be helpful to you, and how to get started with it. I realize some of you may have done this in the finance course, and I believe that if you have already purchased the simulation and used it, you can go and email the company, and you can get them to reestablish your logon to use it for this class. You don't have to pay for it twice if you already purchased it once. Although they are, I don't think you can trade your account or sell your account to somebody else. So, but you'll have to deal with that company and ask them on it. Again, I'm not an expert on their policy, but I know some students have told me have done that in the past. Okay, the simulation is going to be a constant factor in this class throughout the 6 weeks we're working on it. There are 6 quarters of operation, or 6 rounds in the simulation. So we're going to run 1 round a week. In the simulation, I'm going to post everything on Blackboard so you can review and follow the schedule. And as the 6-week semester goes on, each company, which is going to really be a student, is going to have their own company, will be asked to discuss what they've done, the results they have achieved. At the end of the semester, I'm going to ask each student to create a PowerPoint that outlines their company's success. And we're going to pretend they're 6 quarters in a year, and you're basically going to make a presentation on how the company performed over that year, and you're going to cover the entire simulation experience. And the PowerPoint will be graded on these 4 elements. 1, the slides of how well you describe your company's strategy. And this should be concise, should include the mission statement and an explanation of the strategies you're pursuing. Number 2, slides of your results. I would like to see some slides, and some students have in the past cut and pasted graphics and information from the simulation, have used data from the simulation to work in spreadsheets, and really, showed me the results each round and their final results. Then a slide of your financial statements, and then 4th, slides on your management's discussion and analysis of the financial results. This PowerPoint project is sort of like the first 6 to 8 pages of the annual report. So if you want to look up another company's annual report, maybe Ford, GM, Toyota, or Honda, look at the annual report, and it's pretty much going to follow that same pattern that they have. And I want you, as the owner of this company, to really outline to me as an investor, what the company is all about, what's their strategy, how has it worked, what's their future strategy, your results, and your discussion. So this is something that's not a paper, but a presentation. So it's more of a graphical orientation. And generally, I would hope that it is less than 20 slides. The good news is you don't have to present this PowerPoint. You just have to create the PowerPoint and attach it to the assignment link. Now let's talk about the grades. Your grade will consist of the following. The online simulation will be 20 points. You're going to spend, a significant amount of time on this simulation, and it should be represented in the grade in the course. The PowerPoint for the simulation will be 15 points, and the length, you can do it, and if you can do it, I guess 5 to 10 slides, no more than 20 slides. Participation will be 15 points. How do you earn the participation? Well, it's all about the discussion board. If I will be giving, there's a discussion board every week, and as long as you answer the discussion board questions with, some thoroughness and some decent answers, and you reply to 2 other students' posts, read their responses and add some comments to it, you'll be fine. You'll earn the discussion points. Now, if you don't answer the discussion board questions, you lose a point for the questions unanswered. If you don't reply to 2 students, you lose a point. Now, also, in some cases, students may reply back to you. So, I would like you to go and at least follow, the posts you make and see who replies to your posts, and, and read them and reply back to them. So it's really about creating that class discussion within a discussion board environment. Okay. The mini case work, there are 20 points. I have 5 mini cases, 4 points each, and each case will require you to answer various questions. Most papers are between, usually your response to my cases are between 1 to 3 pages, 200 to 800 words. I don't have an example of the case study attached to this syllabus, but I will attach it to the Blackboard. So you could see an example of how someone did the case previously. Now, the online exam is going to be 30 points. So at the end of the course, I'm going to open up an exam, which is short answer and some essay related to the topics of the textbooks that we've covered during the class, and you'll have a couple of days to complete that and attach that file and onto the Blackboard link for me to grade. Okay, so here are how the grade, everything is points. There's no percentages. So as you collect your points, this is how your points turn into a letter grade. Okay, now for the simulation, I have this little asterisk here on how the simulation is graded. If you get over 3,000 points, you earn the full 20 points. And then it's a downward scale from there. Now bear in mind that this level of 2,500 to 2,599 points gets you a full 15 of the 20 points. Generally, I have usually 100% of the class can achieve over 2,500 points. So these first 15 points are very easy to get. It does get a little harder to get to the 3,000, but I do have it generally about 40 to 60% of the class can get above 2,900 points. Now, if this is how you fail on earning points in the simulation, you don't practice, you don't utilize the practice rounds, you don't read the user guide, you don't listen to my video reviews on the simulation or my simulation overview video. Basically, the amount of effort and time you put into simulation definitely results in the points being earned. If you have a bad round, it doesn't completely wipe you out because it's a year-over-year point system. So if as long as you get back on track the following round, you should make up those points you lost in the previous round. If you're having trouble, the 6 rounds, so figure you need at least 500 points per round to get to 3,000. If you're not earning at least 500 points, you need to go into the individual practice environment and start running some practices and trying to figure out what you've done wrong. You need to start looking at the companies who've done better and see what they're doing. Generally, most students don't have too much of a problem getting most of the points for this assignment, but it is based on performance, because if I don't base it on performance, then I really don't get a lot of effort from students on the simulation. Okay, the test, like I said, there will be a test. It's going to be based on the material from the textbooks. The format will be essay and short answer, and you'll have about 72 hours to complete the test. So I'll open the link up. You'll have 72 hours to complete the test at least, and attach your file back to the link. All right. Now, participation, as I was talking about that before. Each week I'll have a class discussion using the Blackboard discussion boards. You click on discussion, and you'll see the questions in there and the topics. And, I expect you to participate. I don't expect you to read every student's answer and every student's reply. You're not responsible. I can understand how that is, probably improbable. But you should go in there and read as many as you can. You don't have to read every one of them to be considered participating. You have to produce your response to the answers, respond to at least 2 other students' answers, and then, whatever other amount of time or participation you can put in will be appreciated. But the minimum to get the full points, participation points, is just you write your one response, you reply to 2 other students' responses. What I generally find is the students who participate have no problem meeting the requirements for this. It's the students who skip it altogether. And Blackboard is great. It gives me a synopsis at the end of on my side. It shows me who participated and how much time and how many words they spent in the area. So I can easily sum that up for myself. Okay, the class schedule. This is something that you're going to want to look over very carefully. Each week we have every week is 2 classes. That's how it works in the summer. So I broke out each week. So there's week 1, class 1, and week 1, class 2. And I wrote down what we'll need to do together each week. So the first week is the class introduction, which is this video right here. It's going to be an overview of the simulation, and I'm going to post that. I'm going to expect you to do 2 individual rounds of the simulation, and that's due by May 31st. Read Chapter 1, Getting Ready to Do Strategy, in the Kellogg's Strategy textbook, and watch my video. I have a video link for Chapter 1, and I put the links in the syllabus and on Blackboard. Then for Class 2 in Week 1, I'm going to want you to complete the simulation work for round 1. This is the team competition by Monday. Actually, no, I think that's Friday. I have it listed in the Blackboard because, the syllabus, I may have not updated everything completely on the syllabus here. And then you read Chapter 2 of the textbook, and then Chapter 2, I have 2 videos to watch. You can just click on the link. And then syllabus just goes through everything that we're going to be doing for each of the 6 weeks. That is more, I would rely more on Blackboard because I'm going to post the same stuff on Blackboard, but it's more current on Blackboard. Academic dishonesty, please do not cheat. Please be aware of the academic dishonesty policies of the college. You cannot, I don't want you to plagiarize. If you write any papers for me and you're going to pull information from other sources, I would expect you to footnote them properly. No, please do not copy any other students' papers or materials. Um, you know, everything should be original work. Now, I think you're pretty much familiar with how the academic world works. You know, don't cheat off of another student. Don't plagiarize the internet or any other source. And, you know, just keep it honest and give it me a fair, clean effort, and there should be no problems. But I have no issues if I catch someone cheating in one way or another. I will have no problem submitting you to our internal academic dishonesty board in the MBA College of Business. And in the College of Business, we have a no tolerance policy. One cheating instance, and you're out of the program. So it's not worth it to contempt it, to do it at all, because you know you may be saving you a couple of hours to cheat and time you would have spent doing the legitimate work, but you could lose everything you put into this MBA so far and be kicked out of the program. So I don't want that for anybody. Also, if you have a physical, psychological, medical, or learning disability that may impact your coursework, please contact Disability Support Services, and they will instruct you on how to get the appropriate accommodations and what you qualify for, and they will contact me directly and tell me what I need to do for you. So that's just a footnote in the syllabus. Okay, so that's the entire syllabus. You may want to read that over again at a particular point. Now, with the syllabus for this class, read it over once, get familiar with the grading policies. Most important things, all the important things for the syllabus, I have placed right here on Blackboard. So here's our Blackboard environment, and you know, in the announcements area, here's the information in the Zoom simulation, the Zoom business simulation, 20 points. Each student will work as a team of one. You go to this website to register. The class code is June 512, and here is the schedule. Now this is the schedule. I think I modified it a little bit, looking at trying to make things fall on the best times. The round one I'm going to process by June 1st, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and then round 2, 3, and 4 will all be on Fridays, due on Fridays. Now, because of this little bit of time crunch at the end of the class, round 5 will be Monday, and then round 6 will be on June 29th. And I needed to end the simulation a little early so you have time to write the PowerPoint. So those are the due dates. Now, if you don't complete the simulation on time, I have to move everybody forward. So I'm just going to copy over your entries from the previous year into the current year, which means you're not going to advance, you're not going to earn any points, and I'm just going to move you forward with whatever decisions you made in the prior year if you don't finish on time. And that is just, you know, a consequence. So make sure you get this done on time. Okay. All right. Now, how do you get started with the class? You're going to go to course documents. That's the first thing you should do to get started. And under course documents, I have the syllabus that I just described backed up here on the course documents. I have a little fun video to watch on the FedEx, how FedEx feels about MBAs. It's not really part of the class. I just thought it was kind of fun. Here's the notes on my PowerPoints and notes on Kellogg's and Blue Ocean. So I have here are all my PowerPoints and notes on the Kellogg's and strategy that I'll be covering and doing videos on. Here is my PowerPoint slide for the Blue Ocean textbook that you're going to pull down this PowerPoint and look at that. I'm also going to do a video on those two. So this is where you can get my PowerPoints and notes on those two textbooks. I also have the Blue Ocean audio lectures. So the Blue Ocean book comes with a set of 6 MP3 lectures. So these are not videos, these are MP3s. The good news about these videos, MP3s, is that you can download them, you can burn them to a CD or put them on your iPod, you could listen to them on the drive to work, you could listen to them on your computer, on your any type of device that'll play an MP3. So you're free to download these and listen to them anywhere you want. Now I had a feeling that sometimes the students are going to start listening to these and not finish them. This audio lecture series is very good. I mean, it it's the entire book. So I always recommend that someone listen to each of the MP3s and then read the chapter afterwards. So I think you should do both. Read the book and listen to these MP3 videos. I'm sorry, audio files. And these, I've listened to them 2 or 3 times myself. They are very interesting. They have a lot of good examples. And it's just a really great way to reinforce what Blue Ocean is. And I highly recommend it. I also have posted in here. Here are all the, if you go lower on this course documents, I have the video class lectures. So I'm going to post the all of the lectures from Kellogg's chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, plus the 2 Blue Ocean videos I'm going to embed in here as a backup. They're also going to be on the announcements page, which I'll show you in a minute. If I go back to announcements, I have, of course, the getting started here, and here's going to be the video. I'm going to have links for the video and simulation in here, and then I have, this is the course schedule that I'm going to modify and keep up with the most. It's going to be the most accurate, the one under announcements. And here in week 1, of course, I want you to watch the syllabus and class introduction video. I'm going to actually put the link in once I'm done recording it, and I'm going to create another video of how to use the simulation, and I'll put that link in here. I want you to do 2 rounds of the individual practice, and it's self-paced. You do round 1, process it, and you do round 2. The team competition, I have to process the round. So once you complete the round in the team competition, you have to wait for everybody else to complete it as well, because you compete head-to-head there. Read chapter 1 in the Kellogg's on Strategy, and then watch the link to my lecture, which is already here. So that's class 1 of week 1. And then we have class 2, and it basically just kind of follows this format, and I have everything planned out, laid out for the entire course, so you can look this over and know exactly what you're getting yourself into. And I try to keep it that way. So every week you just look here, you see what you need to do, and you get an idea what you should be working on that week. And this is really what you need to work on. They're not exactly all gradable assignments. For that, I have what's called the assignments box here. And in here, I post all the assignments. So here, the discussion board, this is just it's an assignment. You don't really need to post anything here under assignments, but it just, again, goes over the discussion board. So this is the first assignment you need to know about. I'm going to set up 6 discussion boards, 1 per week, and I'm going to, the discussion board is right here where it says discussions. And every student is expected to complete 1 original response to the questions and at least 2 replies. And each post should be at least 100 words. Now we'll go to discussions real quick, and we'll see here. I have them all listed. Here is week 1. So you just click on the week 1 discussion. Or you click on the blue part, and then you can create a thread. So let's see. The discussion here is what company do you think has the best strategy? Why? Please describe and explain. Okay, so just coming back here, I took a break for a second. So the discussion question for week 1, what company do you think has the best strategy? Why? Please describe and explain. Okay, so I'm going to click on the link, and you're going to do the same thing. I'm going to create a thread for my post, and I know everybody is going to try and do Apple, so I'm going to do Apple. Now, everybody has to have their own unique company. So I'm doing Apple because that's the easiest one to do, and I don't want everybody to run to Apple for every question like this. So I'm already going to jump ahead of you and post Apple, and I'm going to put in, over 100 words here. I just wrote up a quick little explanation of how I think the question should be answered. So this will be my original post, and I'm going to hit submit. And now you're going to see that this is my post, and my thread is Apple, and I'm the author. And then, when you go in to the discussion board, you can click on my thread and read what I wrote, reply to me, although I would prefer you not to reply to me or reply to other students. I'm just posting here to give you an example of how you would do this. And then basically you're done. You just kind of create your thread, and then you can just put it in there, and then you can come back and see, okay, now a few other students have created their answers, and you can go in and say, say another student was here, and you could click on them, and then and just click reply, and like I'm going to reply to myself and say I'm gonna, it's not going to be 100 words, but wow, what a good answer, dot dot dot, and then I would just say submit the reply. Okay, so that's how you would reply to someone else's post, and you see the reply under here, and I'm going to reply to that saying this reply this is too short, need at least 100 words. You should know better, Professor Nugent. Okay, so there I replied to my reply. And that's basically how these discussion boards kind of work. And then I'm just, I can just kind of collapse that. And then as you create a thread for your, don't create a thread under my Apple, create a new thread and title it your company, and then reply my answers. Okay, so it's very simple. If you have any problems with these discussion boards, you can tell me, email me, or see me during the office hours. And I read your posts, I reply to them once in a while, and tell you what I'm thinking, and it's a pretty good way. Now, don't jump ahead, please. Only work on one question per week. Unless if there is a situation where you need to do it early, let me know first, and so we can discuss it. But I would, appreciating, that you would. I have a time set up that we want to start on May 29th and end on June 1st. So I get a condensed time set here, so we're all active in this discussion question at the same time, and that's when you have to get that done. What I don't want is someone at the end of the class to go back and do all the discussion question work in the last week of class. This is something that you need to do each class, each week. You need to work on and respond to each question during that week. You cannot go back. It's going to close. Once I close the discussion board, you cannot post to it anymore, and it's too late to earn the participation points for that question. So this is a weekly assignment, something you need to do, and I spell out the specific time frame on which I want everybody to participate with inside of. Okay, so let's go back to assignments. So that's your first assignment, and that's how we kind of simulate our class discussions that we can't do because it's online. So we're going to do it through our discussion board. And again, I have the simulation assignment, which is 20 points. Same thing that I posted to announcements. The same schedule, being note that it's all going to be due on Friday except for one, round 5 is going to be a Monday. It's all due 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, I write how the points you earn translate into a grade. And then finally, we get to case 1. So here is case 1, Cisco. And what you would do is that you click this PDF link, and then the PDF will come up of the case. And I said this is case 1, Cisco. And here are the questions I want you to answer. And then below I've attached some relevant documents to in articles to help you answer the questions. Now, to really impress me with this, I like it when students can refer back to one of the 2 textbooks and quote some information or an idea from the textbooks that relates to these questions of this case. That's always a good way of getting an A. And I also like students to go out to the internet, either use the databases available through the library or just an internet search, and find another article that can support your answers to these questions on these mini cases. That's what an MBA student does. It's not just all these answered by your own opinion. You are actually going in and getting support for what you're saying, and quoting it and providing me the references at the end of the document, like a real paper. So that's kind of what I expect with these cases. Now, how do you submit the case? Well, here I write, please attach the file to this link. Do not cut and paste it to the text box, because when you click on the link, it's going to open up, there's a text box here. I don't want you to put anything in this text box. I just want you to say, browse my computer, and then you can find the file. Here, here's an invoice or whatever. I'm just going to open that up. And you can attach it, and then you just hit submit. And that's it. Simple as that. And I'll attach an example of another case for you to look at to kind of get an idea of how it's done. So we have case 1, and I have the due date here is June 2nd. We have case 2. Each case is 4 points, and they're sort of spread apart each week, and we have 5 cases. The last case is due on June 30th, and we're going to cover, these cases cover Chrysler, Zynga, and Facebook. Case 3 is on McDonald's. Case 2 is on Netflix, and case 1 is on Cisco. So they're all sort of relevant, timely topics that have all occurred within the past year or so. And there, so that casework together, that's 5 cases of 4 points or 20 points. Now we have the simulation PowerPoint. It's due July 3rd, and that is 15 points. And again, I have the slides here. And before July 3rd, I'll probably record a special recording on what I'm expecting and ideas of how to do this PowerPoint a little bit more directly. And then again, at this link you will not be able to see, but I'll open up this link. It will be available after July 5th at 5 a.m. I'll open up the link, and it will close on July 7th at 10 p.m. That's also listed in the syllabus. So there are all your assignments for the class. This is where you can get to the library resources. If you're going to, which I would recommend, maybe look up some other articles to help support your answers, to get a little bit more information on the different case topics we're looking at. And it's very simple. I mean, if you want to go, let's see, you want to find the databases. So let me go to find library material, databases A to Z. Okay, and I recommend for us the best database to work with is Factiva, and this is in here you're going to have to put your NetID, which is the same as your Blackboard login, and you log in so you can access the library remotely from home and have everything you would have on campus. And Factiva is good because it's Dow Jones, so it's Wall Street Journal, Barron's, and a lot of other different publications. I was hoping that it would list the sources, but this Factiva is probably one of the best business databases to work with, and all you would really need. And just like a search engine, you type in your topic here, put in Facebook, and I'll say search, and it'll come back with a list of articles on Facebook, and then I can just, you just click on the article, and it'll produce it for you, and then you can easily reference that at a later date. Okay, so that's the quick database. Okay, now SB Connect. So if you want to connect with me during office hours, you click this SB Connect button, and this will open up an SB Connect environment. Again, you need your NetID account, same username and login you would use to connect to Blackboard, and this will create this is going to be an online learning environment, Adobe Connect. If you've never used it before, don't worry, it's very easy. We're not going to be working with cameras, so don't worry about video. You can, if you don't have a microphone, if you do have a microphone, you could chat with me you could talk to me directly and I can answer you. If you don't have a microphone, there's a chat box here that we could chat back and forth. And you can leave notes. Sometimes in here I can pull up documents or reference my desktop, and so it's a pretty workable environment where we could talk, we could share, and I can get your questions answered, and it's a pretty efficient environment. So we'll work with there once a week, or more so if needed for the class. If we find we need to use this more, we can use it more if you like the tool, and there's different things we can do in there together. Okay. Okay, so that's basically it. That's the class in a nutshell. I've gone over the syllabus and talked about the main points of the syllabus, and I've gone over Blackboard. I mean, The syllabus, read over, look it over, get a basic idea. It's a basic syllabus, and then do everything through Blackboard. So the first thing you do, you come to Blackboard, check out the announcements. If I posted any announcements on Blackboard, look over our class overview here and see what you're responsible to complete for the week, and then go into assignments, and see what assignments are due, and you can reply. And all your assignments will be posted, attached back to these links when you're done. You will not email me any assignments. Everything will be posted in Blackboard and set up and organized through Blackboard. And you go to discussion questions here, answer discussion questions. So it's a very easy, create a very intuitive and easy online experience for you that I think you'll enjoy and find very productive. And again, after viewing this video, if you have any questions or confused about anything, please feel free to email me right away and we can work that out. Okay, I'm signing off right now, and I thank you for your time and patience. And I do just want to say one last thing. Please, don't take shortcuts with this class. Read the textbooks as I've assigned them. They're really not a difficult read. They won't require too much time. And also, listen to my video lectures as I post them for each of the classes, and listen to the audio MP3s for Blue Ocean. That I feel most of the class learning will come from these video lectures and these MP3s. If you skip that part of it, you're really not going to get the full benefit of the class. And conveniently for you, I will embed all the video links inside of our daily class schedule. So that way you can find everything under announcements and just click right into the link. And when you click on the link, it's going to open up. I would suggest not opening it up inside a Blackboard because it creates too small of a window. Cut and paste the link into its own window. And then here, okay, that's actually, let's see, I'm going to try a different one. Let's try one of these here. So I would, if you open it inside a Blackboard, there's generally a lot of issues and may not play. So just, let's see, just open up another browser window and cut and paste the link into that separate, its own browser. And that's me and talking about my lecture here. And I basically just go through the PowerPoint and describe, each of the slides and elaborate on them, just like I would do in class. Okay, that's it for me. I hope you enjoy the class and look forward to my next video, which is all about the simulation and getting started and performing well in the simulation. Okay, take care.